Imagine waking up to find that everything we thought computers could do, every limit we believed existed, had just been shattered. This isn't some sci-fi fantasy. It's exactly what Microsoft claims to have achieved with its latest breakthrough, the Majorana 1 chip.
It's called Majorana because the qubits inside feature these special Majorana particles.
In February 2025, Microsoft unveiled a groundbreaking quantum processor powered by topological qubits, a new approach to quantum computing that promises to fix one of its biggest challenges: error correction.
Unlike all the other types of qubits, trapped ions, superconducting, diamond qubits, photonics, they are all based on a particle such as ion, photon, or electron, while here it's based on a topological state.
If Microsoft is telling the truth, this chip could usher in a whole new era of computing. But that's a big if, because in the tech world, revolutionary claims don't always turn into reality. So, today, we're diving into the real question. Is this chip the future, or is it just another piece of technology? Let's break it down. First, what makes quantum computing special? Well, unlike classical computers, which process information as either zeros or ones, quantum computers harness the power qubits, which can be both 0 and 1 at the same time. This means they can solve certain problems faster than even the most powerful supercomputers today.
These calculations are so complicated that then if the classical computer was as big as this entire planet, it would still not be able to compute it, just to give you a construct of scale. And a quantum computer can do it.
But there's a catch. Qubits are highly unstable. The moment they interact with their surroundings, whether it's heat, radiation, or even the tiniest bit of electrical interference, they collapse. And when they collapse, they cause errors that make the calculations useless.
The reason quantum computing has been so slow to progress is that the industry has been struggling with problems making qubits reliable and resistant to noise.
This is the Achilles heel of quantum computing. It's why, despite decades of research, we still don't have large-scale quantum computers capable of doing practical work. However, Microsoft believes they've cracked the code. So, what sets the Majorana 1 chip apart? You see, most quantum computers today rely on superconducting qubits, a technology championed by giants like Google and IBM. But these qubits require intricate error correction just to stay stable. And even with that, they still struggle to scale beyond a few hundred qubits.
Qubits are actually pretty delicate in general, so you need underlying qubits that are really stable. But you don't want that to come at a cost, because you don't want your underlying qubits to be really big. That's one way to make them more stable, is have them really big. But if they're really big and you're still going to need many of them, then how are you going to fit them all into your system?
However, Microsoft is taking a completely different approach. Instead of relying on traditional superconducting qubits, the Majorana 1 chip is built on topological qubits, which are less prone to interference. These qubits rely on a special particle, the Majorana particle, that exists in a unique state, providing extra protection against disruptions.
So what we are doing is something fundamentally different. We are saying, hey, first step is get hardware protection built in at the ground level. And so if you take the quantum information and you distribute it, now that information is much more resilient to being displaced and destroyed, even if it sees events or noise from outside sources.
To put it simply, if normal qubits are like spinning plates that can crash at any moment, topological qubits are more like locked gears, designed to resist outside disturbances. Microsoft claims that this breakthrough could allow them to scale quantum computing in a way no one else has been able to do. While most companies are struggling to keep a few hundred qubits stable, Microsoft believes their architecture could allow for up to 1 million qubits on a single chip.
Some people have said useful quantum computers are decades away. I think it's years.
So, what happens if Microsoft is right? What would a 1 million qubit quantum computer mean for the world? For starters, artificial intelligence would evolve at an unprecedented pace. Training AI models that currently take weeks or months could be done in seconds. This could lead to self-learning AI, autonomous robots, and generative systems more powerful than anything we've ever imagined.
We originally thought the total market for data center AI accelerators would be about 150 billion, and now we think it's going to be over 400 billion.
But AI isn't the only field that would be transformed. Medicine would be completely transformed. Scientists could simulate molecules and proteins at the atomic level with ease.
Hundreds of thousands of patients a year that we can impact with. Just these gains that may sound kind of modest, but it can really have a massive impact globally.
And then there's material science. Imagine designing new substances at the atomic level. Stronger, lighter, more efficient, better batteries, superconductors, even new forms of energy that could reshape entire industries. Even the planet itself could benefit. Here's the problem though. As exciting as this all sounds, we've heard this kind of hype before. Microsoft has been chasing topological quantum computing for over a decade. In 2018, they claimed they had finally made a breakthrough only for researchers to later discover that their data was flawed. As a result of this blunder, the company had to quietly backtrack. And in 2019, Google declared they had achieved quantum supremacy. But many skeptics argued that their experiment was focused on a specific problem with no real-world use. IBM, meanwhile, has consistently projected over-optimistic timelines, only to later revise them, like the time they claimed they would have a 1,000-qubit quantum computer by 2023, only to push that target back. Now, Microsoft is making even bolder claims. But have they truly cracked the code this time, or is this just another case of overpromising? For any discovery to be taken seriously, it needs to be independently verified, which no outside team has fully confirmed so far. But even if Microsoft has pulled it off, that's just one piece of the puzzle. Quantum computing's biggest challenge isn't just creating qubits, it's keeping them stable enough to be useful. Right now, quantum error correction remains an unsolved problem. To outperform classical computers, quantum systems need to run complex calculations without errors spiraling out of control. And while topological qubits might help, Microsoft still has to prove they can correct errors and scale up. Then there's the competition. Microsoft isn't the only player in the race. IBM has already built quantum processors with over 1,000 qubits and plans to reach 100,000 by 2033. Google, on the other hand, made waves in 2019 when its quantum AI team demonstrated quantum supremacy, and they've been refining their superconducting qubits ever since. And just recently, Amazon unveiled Ocelot, a new quantum chip designed to slash the cost of error correction by 90%.
This is Amazon's first chip, and it comes after Microsoft obviously announced their own quantum chip.
So while Microsoft's approach is exciting, the race for quantum dominance is just getting started. But even if topological qubits give them an edge, turning theory into reality is still an enormous challenge. These machines need to be kept at temperatures colder than deep space. Microsoft says they can scale to 1,000,000 qubits, but right now, even the best quantum machines struggle to keep just a few hundred working. The leap they're claiming is astronomical. If Microsoft succeeds, encryption as we know it is dead. That means every bank transaction, every military secret, and every piece of encrypted data on the internet could suddenly become vulnerable. Governments and cybersecurity experts have been preparing for the quantum apocalypse, but if Majorana 1 is real, that day could come sooner than expected.
Well, already the U.S. government has set up a study group looking at the possibilities of when, not if, but when we have quantum computers, how will we protect our bank accounts, our savings, our nuclear codes? How are we going to protect that? And so already the federal government is in on this. They realize it is coming faster than you realize.
Right now, Microsoft's Majorana 1 chip is just a prototype. There are no independent reviews, no working large-scale demonstrations, just Microsoft's word. Could this be the breakthrough that makes quantum computing a reality? Yes. Could it also be another overhyped tech promise that takes a decade to deliver, if ever? Also, yes.